Peace and love, beautiful people. Peace and love. So God does this thing with me where he puts me in isolation and it gets real lonely and it gets frustrating sometimes. But in that isolation, and be careful because people will tell you that you got to be in church and around people all the time and blah, 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 blah. No, listen to your inner guidance, your spirit man. God made us in such a beautiful way. And unfortunately, the world has been programmed to condition us to not understand the beautiful gifts that we have, the intelligence that we carry, the resilience that we have from our pain and contrast. So, getting back to my point here, God does this thing where, not for nothing, y'all, there is something going on in this world. There is a wave happening in this world. You know, on one spectrum, we got a wave of violence and poverty and all types of just wickedness. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have some people who is beginning to awaken, to be enlightened by some things that just can't not be truly just brushed underneath the rug. Like, it is what it is. And then you got that in the middle. People see it, but they don't really care. People see it and they do a lot of this, but don't really contribute to any change, or they're stuck in this program that no matter how much their inner guidance tell them otherwise, they're stuck in this program of what they've been taught all their lives, what they've been conditioned to believe all their lives. And I've been in that middle stage, but I'm leaning more towards this way because God keeps showing me. Now, there are some people who just believe that God isn't real. There's some people who believe that the Bible isn't necessary. And I want to tell you it's false. And again, I'm not telling you something because I've been programmed. I'm telling you something because I experienced it. No matter what you decide to call God, that's why he is I am. He is the great I am. That is such a broad statement. Whatever you want to call God for you and your relationship with him, he is with it. Don't let nobody ever tell you anything different. God has so many different names. As long as you know who God is and y'all have a relationship with God and Jesus, because you got to understand that Jesus is the way to the Father, then you're good. But in between, well, not in between, in the midst of your relationship and him transforming you and him doing, again, we all have been designed and assigned for an assignment. Hear what I just said. We have all been designed and assigned for a assignment. So however God decides to use you and mold you and reframe you, it's not for anyone to tell you anything different. There's wickedness in this world, and then there's things that God used to bring out his perfect glory. So obviously, if we do anything wicked, that's not of God. But there are some things that some people just won't get, or they can't wrap their head around it because they've been conditioned to believe one way and one way only. So naturally, they're going to try to pull you out of something that God gave you. He gave it to you. But again, you got to be in your word, because the word is the foundation. It's going to teach you something. It's going to open your eyes up to some things. It's going to heal a lot of what the world conditioned if you come to it with an open mindset. You can't come in the word with just what's the word I'm looking for, Holy Spirit? With just the ambition to just you want to just tear the word down. You want to get in it so you can prove how fake it is. Or you can't just get in the word because you want to just receive the blessings that you can get from it. You really want to come into the word with an open and pure heart, wanting to understand, wanting to know more, wanting to be and understand what God has designed and assigned you for. So when you get into this word, it's going to show some things. It's going to heal some things in you. It's going to open your eyes to a lot of different things. But you got to get in it and you got to stick with it. You can't just get in it and put it down. It got to stick. So I say all that to say, there's a lot going on in this world, but God is moving in a mighty way. And our eyes need to be open to some things. So God will put me in isolation, and I'm just, especially when things start not making sense. You get to a point where, like, God, I'm receiving all these things, but it's not the version that I've been conditioned to know you of. So that gets a little frustrating because you want to ask people certain things, but they're only reading on the surface. They're only understanding on the surface. So they're not even, it's more frustrating to ask somebody who only see on the surface when you have been sitting at the feet of Jesus, walking with him, and he's been showing you some things, but then he puts you in this season of just silence, and you want questions answered. You want clarity, and he wants you to have faith. He wants you to have faith in what he has put in you. Now, don't get me wrong. He will, like, oh man, it's just so wonderful how the Lord works, because you miss the little subtle things he do in your day, because the enemy, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And however he may do that, he can use your kids to aggravate you. He can use just certain situations to frustrate you, to depress you, whatever that will get you out of alignment. His goal is to get you out of alignment, whether in actions or thoughts. So if he can get you out of alignment, then you're missing the settled blessings that God is putting in your life. And if you're not in your word, you can't even see it the way that you need to see it spiritually, because a lot of things be right in front of our face and we don't see it because we're not spiritually trained. The eye isn't spiritually trained to see it. The mind isn't spiritually trained to receive it. The heart isn't spiritually transformed to receive it. So we miss it. And then we're wondering, like, what's going on? Now, again, this is why you got to have discernment, and this is why you got to be spiritual equipped, because you got to know what season that you're in. So God will put me in this isolation season, and I'm just sitting here and I'm asking and I'm writing and I'm reading and I'm getting so much different revelations. And it's just like, wow. And then my eyes is open to things, and I feel the shift in me. I feel the change in me. Like, all I want to do is, I'm already a lover. Like, I am made of love and I move with love. So I want to love on everybody. And I even come to conclusion, that is me. The world will program us and condition us to say that, we're people pleasing. And that's just a trauma response from, whatever you went through. No, maybe that's how God designed and assigned you to be. So don't let, like, oh man, get in your word, y'all. Please sit and get in your word and stick with it, because I promise you, your eyes is going to be aware. And this is why the world don't want us in it, because not only do you get healing, not only do you get confidence, not only do you get understanding that the world is trying to hide from us, but he gives you beautiful, brilliant ideas to make the world better, collectively, individually. And then he gives you what you really are here for. It says you find your identity in Christ. That's mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Like, what have you been called for? Because I promise you, you have not been called to work for the government all your life, getting paid next to nothing. I promise you that's not your destiny. God did not design us to be that way. But it's just a beautiful, you got to be in it and you got to receive it. And then when you start seeing those miracle signs and wonder how God he really be coming through for you. And then the way that he trained you through each season. So each season, your faith is just getting stronger and stronger. You just be knowing some things. So when things come onto your path, it don't even bother you. But before, you're losing your mind. You can't sleep. You're anxious. You're exhausted. You're depressed. You're frustrated. You're taking it out on everybody. You're trying to have void fillers. But when you're walking with Jesus, when he tell you, cast your anxious thoughts. Now, I'm not going to tell you you're not going to have days where, you don't know you're coming and you're going. But those are the days that you got to praise. Like, when you truly praise, and there's so many good praise music out there. You don't just got to listen to the old hymns. There's so many beautiful R&B, gospel R&B. There's so, like, I'll listen to regular, like, circular music. They don't have a lot of, all that lust and cursing in it, but it's regular circular music. But I pretend like God is singing it to me, or I'm singing it to God, because it's not lustful. It's not wicked. It's none of that. It's just a good, feel good song. Like, look, get in your word, experience what I'm experiencing, what I'm seeing, and watch. You're going to see. Because when God takes me out of isolation and I go back to church, or I go back to a gathering and I go back home, and God be like, you see, it's not what me and you've been discussing, is it? It's not what I'm revealing to you in my word, is it? They got it wrong, daughter. But you, since you come to me and you seek me, you ask, you seek, and you knock, the door is open upon you.
Sometimes God
get in your
will
word.
pull you away.
Peace and be love. Peace and be
To
love.
build you in the dark where no one sees. The wilderness isn't punishment, it's preparation.